Hi guys, I hope you're well. Matt Rhodes here, and today was the final day of World's Strongest Man 2023. That means my orange juice is back, and the winner of World's Strongest Man has just been crowned. It really was such an exciting tournament all the way through, and I'm going to break down how this final day went. We had 3 events, beginning with max dumbbell, followed by the bus pull, followed by the traditional Atlas stones. As I said yesterday, there's a 4-horse race for the title between Mitchell Hooper, Tom Stoltman, Alexei Novikov and Trey Mitchell. So the guys kicked off around 8 AM local time with max dumbbell. Now some unfortunate news, Shun Winkle had to withdraw through injury. He's had a great tournament, a great first appearance of World's Strongest Man, and no doubt he'll be back. Big credit to that guy. Brian Shaw, disappointing result, 125 kilograms. By his huge standards, that's not so good. But listen, Brian is a great of the sport. Unfortunately, there's no way he can win this year now. But he'll always go down as a legend, and the Shaw Classic, I'm sure, will grow and grow. Probably on paper, Alexei Novikov was the favourite to win this event. He had a max of 132 kilograms, but quite a few of the other guys also lifted that amount, and it wasn't enough to win. Because with 140 kilograms, the winners were Evan Singleton and Mitchell Hooper. Huge result here, particularly for Mitchell, putting himself back into the lead. Tom Stoltman with a decent 132 kilograms, putting a bit of space between himself and Trey Mitchell, who lifted 125. So overall, I think we can say some unexpected results in that event. Great news for Mitchell Hooper. Tom will be not too disappointed, but not too happy. Trey would be very disappointed. Alexei would be disappointed. Now, max dumbbell can be notoriously controversial in the way it's judged, and that was no different this time. Whether people actually had it locked out, whether they were bent over at the point that the judge gave it, that would be down to viewers' discretion, and people have different opinions on this. But these were monster dumbbells, and it's just incredible to see these guys lift such heavy weights. Pavlo Kordiaker, of course, had all the controversy in the first event yesterday, also lifting 132 kilograms here. That meant he shared 6.5 points with Alexei, Tom and Luke, and that means he's in 6th place overall. So now with just 2 events to go, Mitchell Hooper has a 3.5 point lead on Alexei Novikov, with Tom Stoltman just 0.5 point behind Alexei. Trey Mitchell now has dropped quite a few points, and it would be difficult for him to win this, but still of course has a very realistic podium chance, as does Evan Singleton, who's now into 5th place. So mixed results for those guys, which mean there was a lot of work to do going into the next event, which was the bus pull. So the bus pull, a great event at World's Strongest Man, one we always enjoy. 25-meter course, 60-second time limit, and this is one where we see some guys finish, some don't manage to finish. Everybody's spread out. It really separates the pack, and it's just a great spectacle. Oh, it was a disaster, guys. Obviously, pulling a bus is incredibly difficult, but by the standards of the strongest men in the world, this was relatively light, and it turned into a sprint. Of the 9 guys that pulled the bus, 6 finished within half a second of one another via referee's stopwatch timing, which traditionally people say can have a margin of error up to half a second. So how we could get accurate results here, I have no idea. Why we don't have lasers, or even from the CrossFit, something like the ankle tags, anything like that. But of course, human error on a stopwatch is going to mean it's absolutely impossible. The times were so close, the guys were racing along with the bus behind them, and I just can't imagine how the results could then be any more inaccurate than what we've got here. It's such a shame to see. So Matt ragged 9th with 36.29 seconds. And then we had Luke Stoltman, who finished with just 4 points on 32.83 seconds, separated from Brian Shaw, Pavlo Kordiaker, Trey Mitchell, Evan Singleton, Tom Stoltman by 0.56 of a second between all of them on a referee's stopwatch. So let's talk about the 4 contenders still in to win World's Strongest Man. Mitchell Hooper with another event win, a great time, and he pits himself as a strong favourite now going into the final event. Perhaps his main rival, Tom Stoltman, on 32.27 seconds, but he got a split time with Evan Singleton. I don't think I've ever seen this before on a bus pull in strongman, and therefore he splits the points and only gets 8.5, not 9. Will that be crucial going into the final? Disaster for Alexei Novikov, going outside of 32 seconds into 33.35 and only picking up 3 points. I think he's really cost his chances of getting a second world's strongest man title now. Trey Mitchell there getting 6 points. It's okay, but again, he was fractions of a second away from 8.5 points. Who knows if he got it or not via handheld stopwatches, but that's what he ended up with, 6 points. A great result for Evan Singleton, and he moves himself up into 4th place and just half a point off a 3rd. So we really have no idea who's going to end up on the podium here. We just know that Mitchell Hooper's a big favourite with Tom Stoltman hot on his tail. But somehow Tom Stoltman has to make up a 5.5 point deficit on Mitchell Hooper, which seems very unlikely. So are we going to have huge drama in the final event, or is Mitchell Hooper going to go from being the Arnold Strongman Classic champion straight to being the world's strongest man champion? So of course the traditional Atlas stones to finish, and the guys were so tired, only 3 of the 9 guys managed to load all 5 stones, and they were Trey Mitchell, Tom Stoltman and Mitchell Hooper. Brian Shaw so nearly loaded the 5th and final stone. It just slipped at the very end. Honestly, it couldn't be any closer without going on, but we saw there a legend of the sport bow out, and we should just take a moment to thank Brian for everything he's done for the sport so far and wish him all the best with the Shaw Classic in the future. Trey Mitchell getting 5 stones and Evan Singleton getting 4. They tied on points, so that means Trey Mitchell finishes ahead of Evan in 4th place. Alexei Novikov also getting 4 stones, but in a very fast time, and that secures him a podium place. He is 3rd at World's Strongest Man 2023. Tom Stoltman remains king of the stones. He was the fastest guy to get all 5 stones up, and he secures himself 2nd place after back-to-back victories the 2 previous years. Still a great result, and he is 2nd at World's Strongest Man 2023. Mitchell Hooper, all 5 stones, 2nd place in this event, 9 out of 10 points, and he secures himself the title of World's Strongest Man 2023. And when you look right through the groups and the final, you've got to say he was certainly the best athlete there. He was the most consistent. He kept getting high positions on the board, and that's the key to winning strongman events. He finishes on 53.5 points. Tom Stoltman in 2nd place on 49 points, and Alexei Novikov in 3rd on 41 points. So all of those guys pretty well separated out. It was very clear who was 1, 2 and 3. So congratulations to everyone. It hasn't been an event that's gone without controversy, that's for sure. When we talk about the shield race, the dumbbell and the truck pull, it was all slightly disappointing there, but overall it was so competitive. They were nice events that were put on this year, and of course all the guys did their very best and made it such an exciting competition to the end. Also the fans there in some quite difficult weather were absolutely great, cheering the guys on. So all in all, such exciting stuff. So let me know in the comments below your thoughts on this year's competition. Thanks for watching as always, guys. Make sure you're subscribed because I have so many videos in strongman and also in arm wrestling and strength sports in general that you might find interesting. Thank you, and I'll see you again soon.